One of the hardest things for me in the last year has been admitting that I have a hearing disability. The reason for that is that I can fake it, and I can fake it really well. The thing is that I have the privilege of passing. I once dated this guy for a couple months, and he didn't know I had a hearing disability until a few months in because we were always Netflix and chilling. And it just got to the point that I was always asking him to turn on the closed caption. And he was just like, Mariela, why do you always need me to turn on the closed captioning? And I was like, oh, I didn't tell you. I have a hearing disability. And he was just like, oh, you do? Now, mind you, he wasn't the brightest crayon in the bust. But still, I can pass. I can cover my hearing equipment. I have clear speech. I don't use American Sign Language. You can see me in the middle of the street any day when I have my hair down and my hearing equipment covered, and you will never guess that I have a hearing disability. See, that's the thing about invisible disabilities. They're invisible. You don't see them. You don't see a cane. You don't see a wheelchair. You don't see me using my hands to communicate. I can just get by in the world as a person with an invisible disability. And so it wasn't until the last year that I realized that I had a hearing disability. I know, and it sounds really stupid and shocking, but I grew up in an incredibly ableist household. I went to mainstream schools. I didn't really know I had a disability because I was never treated like I had a disability. I never had any sort of preferential treatment or any of that stuff. I just really moved around in a human world as a person with a piece of metal in her head that allowed her to hear. But something really interesting happened in the last year. I met someone who belongs to the deaf community. His name is Andy O, and he's one of the most passionate deaf advocates that I've had the privilege of meeting. When I was talking to Andy, well, you may also know if you've been following my blog that I have a boyfriend named Andy, so let's differentiate them between boyfriend Andy and work Andy. Work Andy, being the deaf advocate he is, told me how when he was looking for a job, one of the first things he did was that he was very transparent about his hearing disability, his needs for accommodations. I didn't do any of those things. I went into the job and I said, hey, I have a hearing disability, but I can still do the job. It's cool. It doesn't affect me. But at the end of the day, my hearing disability does affect me. There are times when I need accommodations for a meeting or for an event, and it is that much harder to justify that I need them because when I went in for the job, I didn't say I needed them. And I have an incredibly supportive team where I am working right now, and I'm incredibly grateful to work there. But I've started to wonder, do people like Andy have an advantage over someone like me because they've been transparent about who they are and what their needs are, versus me as a person with an invisible disability? When I go and ask for these accommodations, are people like, well, this wasn't an issue before. You can talk, you can communicate. What do you mean you need accommodations? So it's really interesting for me to see my life from work Andy's perspective. In addition to all of these things, one of the things that I also want to talk about is how I've been faking it. Woo, I've been faking it. I've noticed that work Andy, when we're having a conversation and he doesn't understand, he will stop the conversation and he will ask someone to repeat things. He will watch a video, and if it's not closed caption, he'll make the request for that video to close caption versus I kind of just let it go. One of the things that I've started doing, if you've been following my blog, is that you probably have been seeing a lot of videos that ask, can you hear and understand what I'm saying? I'm not doing these videos to attack people from the perspective of, haha, I can't hear and you can't. That's not what I'm doing at all. I'm doing that because I'm making this recording. If I listen to this recording in 1 week, I would not be able to understand what I'm saying. Let me actually show you an example. So there's this video, and it was from a race that my boyfriend Andy did. It's called the Spartan race. I recorded this video. This is what I heard. This is what he heard. I want you to see how badly I'm hearing. I'm not hearing well. There's so many challenges that I'm having in this video. And so this made me think, as a quote unquote high performing person with a disability, if this is how I hear, what are other people hearing? See, the thing is that I go to Broadway shows, I go to all these activities all the time. And I don't understand what's happening because these events aren't captioned. And so I'm asking myself, are other people faking it as much as I am? And if we are, we really, really need to stop. Because not only is it affecting my life, it's affecting the lives of other people around me. It's affecting my ability to engage with the world. It's faking it and it's making me look stupid. And it needs to stop. I need to be honest with myself. And I hope that in my being honest with myself about my disability, creating accountability for myself around my disability, I hope that I can also give you a space so that you too can be honest about your own disability. And together, we can work to create a more equitable, more accessible, and more inclusive world. Welcome to our podcast, my podcast. I'm hoping it will be ours because you'll be able to join this community. We'll talk soon. Until next time, bye bye.